Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
I am the B-E-S-T.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
Welcome back to Down Under the Map podcast here in Madison Square Garage, around the pool table of relevancy. To my left, Mr. Daniel Danielson. To my right, Roddy Reece. I am Booker Ted, and we're here to talk all things wrestling. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment on this video. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and X. And today's episode is Rumours and News, and we're also going to tack on to the end some predictions for the Royal Rumble. Because the next episode that you see won't be for a fortnight because we're all going to live lives and do some other things. So we apologise for being human.
Well, they are. I'm not.
What are you saying? You don't have a life?
Solo recording, Reece. It's all yours.
But next year you'll have a wife.
Yeah.
It rhymes. I'm sorry. I was trying to be clever, but that doesn't work.
It works.
Go with that?
It's a year in 3 weeks.
That's exciting, dude. That's super exciting.
Is it?
Well, if the weather gets better by this time.
No comment.
Yeah. I was going to say, we've got the 3 stages. We've got not married, going to get married.
Divorced.
I was going to say has been married, but it's rough. We won't get into that. We're here to talk wrestling. So.
I think once it gets closer, I'll get more excited. But at the moment, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Because
you're
it's
right.
not much is going to change. We live together anyway. We own a house together. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's going to be life as usual.
Just signing a piece of paper, bro, to make it all official.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exciting.
still exciting.
If Annie watches this, I might get a talking to. But
Yeah, I was going to say you might want to act a bit more excited. Be like, oh, of course, yay.
Hooray, marriage.
Ah!
Marriage.
So, we'll get right into it, shall we? Let's talk about, because there's not a whole lot of news, but I think some of the stuff we're going to talk about is pretty newsworthy. There's just not as much as usual.
It's been a bit of a quiet week.
But the
news this week?
one I probably want to start with, and we might be wrong by the time this finishes, because obviously there are some wrestling shows that are happening over this weekend as we speak, but
Big day for it.
I want to ask a question. Where's Sasha? Where's Mercedes? She hasn't shown up anywhere
She's
yet.
looking for that money.
She
is she?
is. She is.
Because you would assume that if she was going to AEW, don't you think she
like-
would have turned up by now?
And like you think about it, I feel like she's smarter than that. Like, yes, they'll offer her the money that she wants, but all you need to do is look at the history of the women's division in AEW, and it's not going to be the right fit for her and what she expects. She expected more from WWE, and she left because of that. AEW is not even going to offer them close to what she was getting in WWE.
So I watched both Dynamite and Rampage this week. So they each had a women's match on it.
Yep.
That's not enough for Sasha.
No.
They just got Deonna Purrazzo, who's having her first match on Collision today.
Yeah.
So she's
As we
debuting
speak, essentially.
in the ring.
We've got highlights on YouTube.
We do.
On
They just obviously got Mariah May from Stardom, so she's part of that Toni Storm storyline.
Yeah.
Where do you fit Sasha in?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's enough room. I know they've got the secondary title with
Julia?
She's not
Julia
doing
Hart
that.
and stuff
Yeah.
in that mid card title, I guess, for women. That's something that Sasha wouldn't be looking at. Sasha's
Yeah.
there for your world title.
She'd come in and she'd be straight in that title picture. No question.
Yeah, but when you look at it though, from an AEW perspective, there's one match a week or one match per show, right?
Yeah.
I think on Raw there was 3 women's matches.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Around that.
Not
And-
including backstage segments
Correct.
either.
And
Correct,
the size of what the title is for Rhea and the size of what they're making
Mm.
EO out to be is 3 times the size of what AEW has.
Yeah.
So realistically, I think Sasha's, if she wants to go for big, it's got to go back to WWE, but the money is probably in AEW.
But I guess, I mean, she may have literally just gone to AEW to try and then squeeze as much money out of WWE as possible. Because we know WWE
And it
wouldn't
might have
pay
worked.
her $25 million, right? I doubt they'd pay that. But I think it was just to show that she is a commodity and she can get good money. So she
Yeah.
might have literally just tested the waters, like, testing the market kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that we haven't seen her yet, if she had signed with AEW, we would have seen her by now. I don't know. That's
would
just
have
my
thought so.
feeling.
I would have thought that debuting her at Dali's place would have been the time to do it. But
That
there's
show
no
was a mess.
storyline reason to do it.
No.
No.
So are we all thinking the same thing about where she's going to turn up?
maybe we'll get to that in our
Number
Royal Rumble
21.
prediction.
Oh, number 21. That's very specific.
I don't have a specific number, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Su-
I think we're all
surprise
on the
return
same
for
boat
Rumble,
then.
yeah.
Yeah. I did actually pick someone else because I kind of assumed that's a given. But so I picked another,
I've got,
another surprise.
I've got her
one,
as
so.
well.
So in other news, the Velveteen Dream video that you sent us last week.
Big
Reece?
apology video from Velveteen Dream on the scandalous rumors from, I don't even know when it happened, like 2-3 years ago.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Maybe
I'm pretty certain it
pre-pandemic?
was pre-pandemic. I think it's 4 years ago.
That's
man.
crazy to think about.
It was a long time ago.
But yeah, essentially there was some essay allegations against Velveteen Dream, and he's come out and finally done a formal apology to Triple H, HBK, the WWE universe, the NXT universe, and all that sort of stuff. But I guess too little, too late.
I think so.
I think so.
He was great though.
Yeah,
was.
I've loved his in-ring work and his character and stuff. But yeah, like
The video itself kind of felt disingenuous to me. Like the fact that it's come out now.
like
I don't know. The way he said it, it was kind of like, I'm doing this because I feel like I have to do this, not because I want to apologize. That was just a feeling I got from it. I don't know.
Well, and he had to put that out if you ever wanted to get another job again.
Yeah.
He had to have
That's
this
kind of what
video
it
out
felt
there.
like.
And maybe it's like he's not done anything for the past few years since that's happened, and he realized that like
I've got to do something,
he's got to do something because he misses wrestling, perhaps, and he wants to get back into the business. And putting something like that out is probably the only way for him to get back into the business.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's been years since it happened. I think there may have been a couple of tweets back when it happened, but like nothing of that sort of formal apology.
Well, I think everyone just sort of assumed he'd moved on from wrestling, right? Because they hadn't really seen anything. So I think you're right. I think he's trying to get back in by the looks of it. He obviously wants to get back into wrestling, and that's his plan. So interesting to see if he does turn up somewhere, where it might be, if he goes overseas maybe and gets his foot in the door somewhere.
Well, TNA's back.
Very true.
They're looking for
and
new
that is
people.
actually that is other news. Is that as of today here, but yesterday technically for us in terms of dates, it is now TNA again. I believe that actually starts this weekend.
Starts today.
So it is now
They've got their
officially-
Hard to Kill premium live event on at the moment.
Yeah,
It's not a
funny.
pay-per-view.
Not a pay. They're not pay-per-views
Premium
anymore because
live
they're now under the Endeavor banner. So I'd say because
How's that the Endeavor banner?
the streaming service, one of the streaming services that they're on is one of Endeavor's streaming services.
So that's where that connection came from about whether they
Yeah.
were. Oh, okay. There we go. Interesting.
There is some interesting news regarding TNA because we've had a mystery female competitor show up. Didn't get a front-on shot, so nobody knows who it is yet.
It did look like a wig.
Lots
It
of
did.
speculation about who it is. Some people saying Dana Brooke. Others have said Camille. She's already come out and says, no, I'm not built like that because it was a rather tall and slender
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
So,
I said Michelle McCool, but it's probably not going to be her.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who it is. I'll keep refreshing the
Yeah, just keep an eye out.
Impact X feed so I can
Hopefully, we'll find out during the
interrupt it
spot.
later on. And then be
Breaking
like,
news,
breaking
just
news.
breaking news.
Literal breaking news.
And obviously, because of that, TNA have brought out new belts.
Yeah, they brought out some absolutely gorgeous belts, to be honest. Like,
look really good.
Some of the videos they've released this week is just props to them. They put in some effort with these belts and they look fantastic.
Well, I think TNA have realised that with AEW coming up and trying to make waves, and some people are now like, oh, I'm not as into AEW as I was before. I think they're trying to slide in and get those people that don't necessarily love WWE as much and don't love AEW as much and might be looking for that person who's like, what do I watch?
I think the best thing for TNA is how badly Tony Khan has dropped the ball in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Because Ring of
That's
Honor
true. Yeah,
was
that's a
the
good point.
Indies. It was your wrestling
It's
show to go
not
watch
anymore.
it.
No.
Now that it's a crappy part of AEW that they're just doing secondhand storylines, it's not what it used to be.
No, not at all.
TNA can be that now.
Yeah, that's true.
You put good wrestling matches. You get, Josh Alexander against Alexander Hammerstone. You get Will Ospreay to come and do a match or two. You got Kushida. You got Shelley.
That'll literally be the new Ring of Honor. Like with the names you're saying to me, that
Yeah.
makes me think like Ring of Honor style wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're making a good move, man. I think it's very smart.
Just to further cement that, during Hard to Kill already, they've announced that they'll be continuing their partnership with AAA Lucha Libre. So
Yeah, nice.
Is that where
that's
the Vikingo
Vikingos
is
from. So
Yep.
that'll be good for them
AAA.
long term as well.
Oh, fantastic, man! Even more wrestling. So we have to try and fit into our week.
Tell you what, you cover AEW every week.
Sure.
You can do NXT. You can be NXT man from now on, and I'll take the hit and I'll start watching TNA.
Oh, you'll take the.
I can do NXT, man. As I said, I just like I don't like all of it, but there's definitely some matches down there that are absolute bangers. So I have no problem being NXT guy. If we need to try and fit that in and make you the TNA man,
See
that's
how we
fine,
go.
man.
We'll give it a few weeks to see how TNA does on a weekly basis.
Well, look, with
See if
with the
it's-
people turning up and stuff, man, it sounds like they're really trying
Yeah,
to make
I really want to
waves.
see because they announced weeks and weeks and weeks ago they're going to have. They're like, you won't believe who's going to show up, whether it's this mystery female or not, or someone else. Perhaps everyone keeps saying Triple H.
I really hope it's AJ Styles.
Yeah, I hope it's
Just
someone
for one
from
appearance,
TNA's
like,
past.
When I think of TNA, I
AJ
think
Styles
of
is the
AJ,
name.
Samoa Joe,
Yeah.
Kurt Angle, and Sting.
Oh man,
Like
you're
that-
thinking of prime TNA.
that's
time,
That's
dude.
legit prime
Yeah.
TNA. And
Just-
I
just
think
load
WWE
AJ
would be
from
nice enough to let AJ go for just like a one-off appearance. Why not?
It'd be good
They
if
had it
could do
happen
that.
before. They let him cut a video package for one of the TNA events a couple of years back. So I don't see why they wouldn't let him do it
Considering
again.
that we had Mickey James come into the Rumble.
Yeah,
Remember
that
when
as well.
she was Impact Women's Champion?
And she
So-
came out with the belt, and they had that on the name plaque as well.
So they're obviously quite happy to do that
Yeah.
kind of, WWE is quite happy to acknowledge that Impact, now TNA, exists, but
Yeah.
they just don't want to acknowledge
Not
AEW.
Yeah.
Acknowledge the tribal chief only. So then on to a couple of injuries.
just
for Sure we didn't.
clarification.
You didn't buy it?
No, I got a mystery pack
Oh,
from WWE
I thought
shop.
you were going to say you beat someone up and took it, man.
Like back in the day, I was like, I swear to God, if I get a bloody Roman Reigns shirt, I'm gonna be so mad. And then I manifested it. So
It's a big dog shirt too.
yeah,
Is it the big dog, is it? Oh, no.
the big dog.
Where's Michael Cole?
Where's the king of
It's
dog food?
The big dog. That was the worst. So on to a couple of injury scares. So Cora Jade, you were saying.
Yeah, Cora
knee
Jade.
injury.
NXT live event last night. So I think it would have been Friday night for them.
And she's literally just come back, as you
Yes,
said.
literally just come back after enhancement surgery. She was in the main event.
They've all done it.
She was in the main event against Lyra Valkyria at this NXT live event show, and yeah, knee injury apparently. So
Oh, jeez.
no further news other than that. Don't know how severe it is, what's been injured, and all that sort of stuff. So maybe update in a fortnight if I remember.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll keep you guys
Hopefully
posted.
she's all good.
Yeah.
And then the other one was actually from SmackDown, which was yesterday morning, our time, or during the day now because of the daylight savings. Austin Theory versus Carmelo Hayes. So Carmelo Hayes got another match on SmackDown after entering the US tournament beforehand, because obviously, he's more than
Him.
ready, I think, to be on the card, and he's very good. But there was unfortunately a scare in this match, which ended the match as well, where
Yeah.
we went for a Spanish fly from the top, and it was very hard to tell when watching it live, but looking afterwards, there was a lot of video and pictures shared where it was Austin, quite obviously, had landed on his head.
Yeah.
I was thinking for a moment why you're so quiet, and then I remembered why you're not talking much. I'm like, Dan's being really quiet. I just completely
Dan's
forgot.
voice isn't that bad anymore.
No,
so
it's actually a lot better. So
Yeah.
I don't know why you're talking
you're fine,
less,
mate.
dude. You're all
It's
right.
no Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I know. It's just I can't be loud. And it's really hard to compete with Ted because he's.
These microphones are pretty good, man.
Whew,
It's very hard to compete with Ted in all aspects of life.
that's very true.
Look at my good dashing good look.
Who are you, Cody Rhodes?
Whoa!
Ted's only smoking.
You're
mirrors.
only smoking mirrors.
That's true. It is only smoke and mirrors. But yeah, so Austin Theory landed on his head. They stopped the match pretty quickly. The doctor was in with a look on his face of, this is becoming a little bit too regular right now. What is this
Two shows in
AEW?
2 weeks.
I feel a bit for Carmelo because obviously it's only his second match in as many weeks on the main card, and there's been an injury
He's had
Is it
more
third
matches than
now?
that, but sure.
in the last
Third.
2 weeks. I mean,
Oh.
it's the second one.
He
in
had
a
the
row.
2 in the US tournament and now this one.
Yeah.
So,
So,
And he had a
so
match
3 then,
against
yeah.
Seth Rollins on Raw a while ago.
yeah, like mid to early last
Last
year.
year.
Yeah, so a while ago. But it's just the fact that this has happened just very close to him coming up again.
Well, we were watching the clip of it on Twitter before,
Yeah.
and you could see Grayson Waller like jumped around a little bit, and then like he saw it, he was just like, "Oh shit!" So even like he was like, "You, that's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
not
good.
That was not
it,
good.
it looked terrible as well. So
Did they slip on the...
Theory slipped."
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
looking at it, like not to name and shame, but I feel like
Name him. Shame
Austin Theory's come up. He's done the leg bounce to flip back.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a little bit of hesitation from Melo, and that's what
Yeah.
got rid of the momentum that would have got them over safely.
And I think that,
But like, it's just a communication thing. It's
but also when you look at the way when most people do that corner spot where someone jumps up, like LA Knight does it all the time, right? Where he jumps up, grabs you, superplexes you. He's jumping from the corner, so he's got a foot on either side. Whereas because it's a Spanish fly,
He was
Theory
only
had to
jumping
go
on
to
one
the
side.
one side of Melo onto the ropes, which
Yeah.
made it slipper, like more slippery.
Yeah.
So it's a definitely more hard move to do. So you don't want to put blame on them for it, but yeah, like it's just unfortunate.
yeah.
But I guess that's why sometimes in WWE you don't see those moves as often
No,
because
yeah.
obviously
You've
they're
gotta-
like
you've
it
gotta
is
time it.
dangerous. It is dead set, very dangerous moves.
Props to the doctor and stuff. Call it off straight away. if
Oh,
you get
100%. Props to him. Like,
And I think it's good that the crowd's not reacting in a negative way
No.
to when they see that now, because obviously in the past there would have been like, you know, maybe some boos and stuff and like, oh, get on with it. But, you know, when you come to those kinds of potential injuries, you just don't stuff around with it, man.
nah, don't stuff around.
Spinal injuries are definitely not worth
No.
trying to, you know, legitimately finish.
Especially after
match.
Vinci's instance last week as well. Like,
Good thing
calling
is that-
both of those matches off straight away was the right choice.
WWE tweeted and said they're both okay. So,
Yeah,
no
that's
major-
good. That's good.
Yeah, that was the main thing I was waiting for, was any sort of update and like, okay, wait and see what happens. So, and then to finish off the news, and this is a really big news for us, especially here in Australia.
Oh,
What-
we've got another thing to talk about.
Yeah, we do have other things to talk about.
What other things we didn't talk
we're
about
on
them at the
Twitter.
time?
There's somebody that should
Oh,
probably get off
sorry,
Twitter.
yeah, no, okay. Do we want to finish with that one, or do we want to finish with the one I was about to say?
No, let's finish. Let's talk about that one now.
Oh, we've got that one. We've also got the confirmed appearance for someone for Elimination Chamber.
That's
as
the one
well.
I'm talking about.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about old cokehead Tony Khan?
That's
Well, that's what he was talking about.
shambles.
Let's pick one. We've got three things to talk
great
about. Let's
day.
pick one.
Tony Khan.
Tony
Go.
Khan. Okay. For anyone out there, you're not shocked. Tony Khan's had another rant on Twitter, and this is to do with the match that was set on Raw with, and you'll see us talk about it on our review show as well, obviously with Jinder Mahal facing off with Seth in the ring.
Don't hinder the gender.
Don't hinder the Jinder, and obviously, look, we won't give away what happened in that because you can watch the other
This
video
is the
and find
only
out.
time
But,
I'm siding with Jinder, all right?
Jinder.
This is the only time.
Jinder is getting a match against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. And Tony Khan decided in all his wisdom to go on to X and have a mad rant. Do you want to bring it up, Dan, so we can
Mate, that's
actually read?
that is a big call saying Tony Khan has wisdom.
Well, that was in all his wisdom. It's very ironic. But if Dan can bring that up, we'll have a read of what he actually wrote. And the response from Jinder Mahal.
First thing that pops up, Tony
Yeah,
Khan,
because
Jinder.
I'll tell you what, I am loving Jinder. He's
great.
He's only
It was
just come
great.
back. But the way he responded was...
While we're waiting for
was
Dan to
brilliant.
sort his shit out,
Oh, it's just loading, man. That's
I
all.
reckon something sus. There's going to be a sus finish to the match, and then it's going to be an actual title match at Royal Rumble.
He tweets so much that Dan's got to scroll through to find that tweet.
There's a lot.
Oh, my God. Put the phone down, Tony.
Keep going, keep going.
Dude. I'm looking at it now, and oh, my God. There we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so a double standard. At 7:30 Hook, 28-1 career record on winning streak, calls out the champ. A logical challenge sparks online outrage. Jinder has literally lost every single match he's in for the past year. Immediately gets title shot. Where is the rage? And obviously there was a response from Jinder, and I think, we don't have to find it because I remember it was, who the fook is Hook?
Yeah.
Essentially was the response. Which I feel sorry for Hook because that's kind of like burying him a little bit, but God, it was funny.
Look. He's got a point. Why is
Tony.
Hook challenging? No, why is Hook
right.
challenging for the title? That is the
Yeah.
dumbest shit I've heard ever.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the other way around.
No,
I think
out
Tony's
of
got a
all
point.
the potential first challenges you want to have for Samoa Joe after defeating their longest reigning AEW champion, your choice is Hook.
Yeah.
But I think I said last week it'd be a great match.
Oh, I probably
I
will
don't
be, but
care
like,
about it.
just
They're really trying to push Hook with the whole like bat signal and stuff and get him on. Yeah, it's
well, to be fair, Hook's like always been over, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I think the funny part to me is that like Jinder Mahal has been off TV for ages.
Yeah.
He comes back. He's in the highest social media segment ever with The Rock.
Yep.
Puts The Rock over. Gets on with Seth. Gets a title shot. Like, Jinder is starting 2020.
He's on a roll, mate. He's on a roll.
Yeah,
Like,
good,
he's-
man.
He's going
Good.
for it.
Don't hinder the gender, baby.
Like, as much as we don't think he probably should have a title shot,
Yeah.
he
Oh, no. no.
he is a very deserving person of that company. He's been around forever. He's always there to do jobs.
Yeah.
He's always there for house shows.
Yeah.
He is, unfortunately, the generic international style heel that you can just put in against an
Yeah.
American person for
Yeah.
whatever storyline they want. He does the job.
Yeah.
And he does it pretty well. And like, as much as we don't think that
That's why he's earned the title of Jobber Mahal.
Jobber Mahal.
Jobber
But
Mahal.
the stuff with Randy Orton, like the Punjabi prison match is horrible, but that's because Punjabi prison is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't really think anything Jinder and Randy did was bad.
No.
It was poorly booked because of his decision for it, but what Jinder did in the ring was fine.
Yeah.
So I think he cops a lot of shit that he probably doesn't really need to cop. I think he's better than people give him credit for.
And he's very good on the mic, dude. I think people
Yeah.
forget that too. He's very good on the mic. And he really has that like I'm smarter than you heel sort of persona
Well,
with the
think
crowd, which
too-
he really pulled off with The Rock, like when he was, using the jingoism and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, it's a real word, look it up. And I'm like, oh, that is one way to be a heel with
The
the
Rock-
Americans is pretend like you're smarter
The
than
Rock
them.
coming back, he would have said, I'll work with Jinder.
Yeah.
Because there's no way The Rock comes back to cut a promo with, someone, Austin Theory. Well, he did it last year, but like someone that he doesn't trust or think can be good.
Yeah.
He would have chosen, grinned it, and ticked.
Yeah.
I'll do Jinder.
Okay.
Give him credit. Sharp, Tony Khan.
Oh, look, I think Tony just, as we've said this many times, right? Put the phone down, bro. Put the phone down.
And like,
you need to have
look at all these tweets. There's like 3 in a row that are just.
Oh, yeah, and then
He's
starts,
just not letting the topic
and then
go.
he starts arguing with Eric Bischoff.
You don't argue with Eric Bischoff, dude. Like, he'll put you in your place quickly. Split.
Well, look, Eric Bischoff's also been known to twist the truth a little bit online these days. So
I
don't know
trust
who would
that
win in
man
a
with
fight
my
with them.
life.
I met him once. Where was it again?
Did you? No, we're not meant
Yeah.
to talk about it anymore.
No, it was at the bar. The bar just happened to be on a boat. No,
Moving on.
anyway, look, I
Moving
think it's
on.
obvious. Tony, just put the bloody phone down. And I think him trying to compete and compare with WWE is the problem because they're not trying to compare and compete with AEW in an obvious way. They're just like, we're doing our thing. We're WWE. If you happen to do stuff, if they try to book something on the same night, they'll go, okay, well, we'll bring John Cena back.
I
or
think-
we'll bring The Rock back. Or,
It's a very business thing, but a lot of people have said it with competition in general, is you never punch down.
that's true.
They always
Yeah.
punch up.
Yeah.
And that's why WWE is not doing anything, because they know they're on
There's
top.
no need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony keeps trying to bring WWE down to him. It's like, oh, you're shit.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we don't care.
But I guess it's also in the sense of like just try and build wrestling up in general, Tony, rather than trying to drag another company down. Like,
Yeah.
just build yourself up. Anyway, good on you, Tony. So then, now was there other news that you had, or was it literally just the?
I'll talk about
announcement?
StarCast, and then we can go
Yep,
on to
cool,
the
perfect.
news
And
for
then the
Elimination
big news
Chamber.
at the end, yep.
So yes, StarCast happening down under 12th to the 14th of April next year in Ballarat, Victoria.
It is this year.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
year.
2024 now, bro. Remember?
Moving on. So tickets have gone on sale now. We've had some superstars announced as well. Bret Hart's coming down under.
Yeah, which
We've
is
got
big.
Chris Adonis, formerly known as Chris Masters. Elijah.
No, that's World Series.
Oh, that's World Series.
Oh, okay.
Never know.
Maybe.
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 But yeah, Chris Adonis, formerly known as Chris Masters. We've got Mickey James announced as well. And the news that I wanted to bring up with Mickey James, she's presenting a special event highlighting women's wrestling, and it's titled Her. So I just quickly jumped onto Twitter to grab a post. I'll give it a quick read. Women's wrestling pioneer Mickey James proudly presents Her, the trailblazing women's wrestling event at the heart of StarCast Down Under in Ballarat, Friday, April 12th.
Cool.
Her elevates the legacy of Empower, which is an NWA presented show. I think that's where they focused on their women's wrestling. They just had a singles women's wrestling show. It's showcasing an unrivaled lineup starring international sensations and Australia's brightest homegrown talents. Her will spotlight the heart, athleticism, and drive of its barrier-breaking competitors. Tickets to Her will be on sale in late January.
That's cool, man.
So the way the event works is Friday night's Mickey James Her.
Yep.
Saturday's the wrestling.
Yep.
And Sunday's the day with Bret Hart.
Yeah,
Wow.
essentially.
That's a
That's a
lot
stellar
going on,
lineup.
man.
It's pretty good.
Too bad
Is that
none
the
of us are
same
going.
time as WrestleMania? Or is it the week after?
that's the week
It's
after, week after.
Yeah, okay.
Because they usually do StarCast around the same time. It's usually like the weekend, like the week leading up to WrestleMania,
Yeah.
or just after. But yeah, like
Well, let's
being
hope some
down
of our
under.
Aussie favourites are going to be there, like Kingsley, especially, our current and inaugural Women's Slam champion. Lena Cross, I know she's overseas, though, at the
in
moment,
the
so
US, yeah.
maybe she'll come back for that. I don't know. It'd be good to see her come back for that. But be nice to see any other of the female talent just get on there. That would be good
definitely.
to see. So, especially with someone like Mickie James, man. Like,
Yeah.
she is an
For her to
absolute
be there,
goat of women's wrestling.
Like head that up. That's awesome.
Good on her for doing
Great
it, too.
catch.
There seems to be a lot of, of these indie wrestlers coming over to Australia.
Well, like what you were touching on was the World Series of Wrestling, which is in June.
Which-
They've already announced Nick Nemeth, Elias, and
Matt Cardona.
That's fantastic.
We're
Absolutely
gonna
fantastic.
try and go.
We got to try and go to something, man. We got to go to some of these shows. I mean, this is the problem with anyone who's not familiar with Australia. We're talking like Ballarat's 6 hours away?
Oh, yeah. give or take.
5, 6? Yeah. It's not close, right? And unlike in America where you have airports everywhere, we have airports, but they're more like a paddock. And the plane would probably cost, the plane trip would cost as much as filling one of your planes. So it's not as easy to get around, but we'll try our best to try and get to some of these shows because it's awesome that the talent are coming over. So we'll do our best to try and support it. And if you
I don't
could
have
too,
anything
please
on
do.
the cards for late June, so I'm feeling World Series wrestling.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a
I
trip.
can try and do that.
I
Should do a
think
trip.
29th of June, Melbourne.
Ooh.
30th
30th
of
is
June
Sydney.
is Sydney, but that's a Sunday. So
okay.
it might be easier for us to swing the Saturday.
Okay.
So if anyone's watching and they plan on going to one of the World Series wrestling shows, hit us up.
Hit us
Maybe
up.
we'll see
Please
you there.
do. And if there's any other wrestling you think we should check out in Australia, let us know as well.
How good. Grizzled young veterans in TNA, mate.
Oh, you're so excited for them,
Pumped.
aren't you?
Pumped. You watch, they're walking out with the tag titles. I'm calling it now.
All right. Hold you to that. So the other big news for Australia, obviously, Elimination Chamber. CM Punk has been confirmed that he will
Confirmed
be
by Papa
at
H.
the event.
This guy's
I'm so pumped.
squealing
You
his
are.
little girly
You
pants.
are, man. It's clobbering time, baby.
I was really worried when all the Rock talk started that Punk wouldn't show. So
but I guess
You never
this
know.
is
Never know.
this is the next question. And I know we already talked about it a little bit before we recorded.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about it again because that's the point of a podcast, so that people can hear it. So what does that mean for Punk? Because obviously, if he's going to Chamber, do you think that means he might not win the Rumble?
no.
No. I think he's still winning.
Yep.
Yep.
Because like you look at I don't think the story they're going to try and tell with CM Punk, like they might portray him as a little bit of that underdog type story. So he's just come back into the company. He wins the Rumble. He's got to go through some sort of adversary to get to WrestleMania. Similar to how when Rey Mysterio won the Rumble, and then at the following pay-per-view, they had him face off against Randy Orton
Yeah.
for that title opportunity, which then turned into a triple threat.
To prove them that when they
That
do
they're
win
worthy.
the title, that they earned it. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't. Yeah.
So they're gonna have that sort of storyline play out, and me and Dan both agree it's gonna be against Drew McIntyre, especially after that promo on Raw.
Yeah.
That interaction was fire.
Oh, it was good. It was very
Absolutely
good.
fantastic.
And you could tell there was definitely some realism sewn into
Yeah, definitely.
the kayfabe side of it as well. Like the lying on the ropes thing, that
Yeah,
was
that's great.
just brilliant, man. Just taking the piss out of each other. So no, look, it's exciting. I think it's really good. They have surpassed officially 40,000 tickets last week. I think the announcement of CM Punk, it'll be interesting to see if that
That's
brings
still
it up a
gonna
bit more.
be a stellar crowd.
That's a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people, especially for Australia. I think we've got to give it credit. Like, to get 40,000 people in a stadium in Australia, like,
Perth.
that's not, okay, when bloody, Taylor Swift turns up and Coldplay and turns up, like, we're talking about internationally renowned artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they're going to fill a stadium. But for wrestling to have upwards of 40,000 people in a stadium, because I think Showdown in Melbourne was 62.
It was
or
over
something?
60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they can
But
get
like,
a
look at what
again,
look at what headlined that though.
exactly.
Triple H versus Taker with Kane and Shawn.
And we had
Michaels.
the Shield.
And the
We had
Shield.
John
John
Cena
Cena,
was there
Bobby
as well.
Lashley.
AJ
Bobby
Styles
Lashley.
versus Samoa Joe, which we all forgot was
The
there.
Iconics.
Yeah, like it was a
Buddy
stacked
Murphy
card.
winning the Cruiserweight Championship.
That was a good. That
was so good.
That was a
That
good
was so
match.
good.
I always remember that. Such a good moment with the crowd.
But yeah,
all just
it's
as
going to be a
one,
good
so-
show. I think the current setup for that is what, like 48,000? for the chamber, isn't it?
Oh, so it's
55.
It's 55. So they're getting pretty close.
Yeah.
They're getting pretty
But-
close.
Because I think max
They can add
capacity
more
is
to
like
it.
65, isn't it? 70.
Yeah, well, I think the stadium itself will hold 65,000 without floor seats.
Yeah, but like
then
once
got
you
the
like,
stage and-
do the
so
stage and all that sort of
It'd be
stuff.
about, depending how many they can actually do, it'd probably be 60,000, I reckon. Maybe 65.
I'm so keen for it, man.
I can't
It's gonna be
wait.
so
I
good.
I've
cannot
already
wait.
checked out of work for the next 4 weeks because I'm just
Yeah, bro. It's like
I'm already on holiday mode.
we've got like 5 weeks until
I
we're
can't
over.
say that, dude. My boss is actually back. I've already been back to work for the last 2 weeks, but my boss is back tomorrow. So it's
Don't let him see
It's
this.
been the best 2 weeks of work because there's
let him
been
see
no
this.
phone calls. Just been getting to it. So anyway, very exciting. We hope to see you there. We will be there, as we said before. We're hopefully going to record some stuff on
Yep.
the site and
Wearing our
upload while we're
matching
there
mummy
too, so-
shirts too.
Oh yeah, because she's always on top.
Always on top.
And if you have any recommendations, anyone who's in Perth or been to Perth, if you've got any recommendations of what to do while we're there other than the wrestling, because we're there for nearly a week, actually. So
We're of course doing Rottnest Island. We're going
Of
to do
course.
Little Creatures brewery tour.
yep.
We're going to be eating a ton of food because we love food.
We're
Yes.
going to go watch Luke Kitchell and Blake Pavey and their comedy special.
Yeah, you got us
Also,
tickets
two-
for that,
two
didn't you?
wrestling fans.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay out of the water because, sharks.
Sharks. We still need to get tickets to that EPW event.
Yeah, we do.
Fantastic.
is the
Oh,
live-
I'm
the
so
live show.
excited, dude.
It's gonna be a
I'm
great
very,
week.
very keen for it. All right, so that was the news and rumors. We'll finish off the episode with talking about our predictions for the Royal Rumble because, as stated before, we're not doing an episode next week, so we're going to do our predictions now. We are a little bit early, so give us a break if we find out between now and then that certain people aren't in the Rumble or some other things get announced because we're going in pretty early on. So the predictions we're going to make, because we're obviously going to do it for both the men's and the women's. So essentially what we want to predict is who are the first 2 people in each of the Rumble matches, your special appearance in the match, and your last 4, and then who's winning.
Yep.
So we'll start with the women's Rumble.
Okay. Sounds good.
So who would like to go first? Who do you predict as your first
I'll go.
I'll go.
first 2 entrants for the women's Royal Rumble? Who's starting us off?
Natalia and Tegan Knox. I know they're tag teaming at the moment, but I feel like they'll be able to have like a really nice back and forth in like a mutually respective sort of way.
Yeah.
Get us off to a good start and then just go from there.
Okay.
And then who knows? Maybe there's
Yep.
some dodgy stuff will happen. It might lead to a split because they're not a great tag team. Let's be
No.
real.
Oh, well, I mean, and everyone knows, like, Natalia's thing is get together with someone in a tag team and then gets upset with them and turns on them. That's like her.
Because I'm
storyline.
Natalia
Yeah, exactly. So,
and you're overshadowing
and
me.
their chemistry doesn't.
I
quite
should be overshadowing
work.
you.
It's a bit. It's a bit.
No, it's
odd.
weird.
a
It's
bit
weird.
odd.
Nah.
Would you like me to go next, Dan? Or
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my prediction is actually a pretty big one for the first 2 in the Royal Rumble. I actually think Bianca Belair is going to be number 1, and I think Bailey is going to be number 2.
Okay.
Considering their match they just had this
Great
week.
match.
Yeah.
That was actually a fantastic match. I was
think
really
they're gonna
impressed with
start.
that.
And the whole reason I think Bianca's gonna, and this might give it away because I don't think she's gonna win. I won't tell you who I think is gonna win yet, but I don't think Bianca wins, and that's the reason why I think she goes in at number 1 because it gives the excuse as to why she hasn't won because she's got to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she'll have a really strong showing, but she won't quite win,
Yeah. Okay.
and that keeps her quite strong
Yeah.
on the
Good.
card.
Good point.
I went for Shayna Baszler,
Oh, okay, yep.
Roxanne Perez.
Oh, interesting.
Give someone a spotlight early. So you get Shayna in early so that she can be dominant, throw out 5 or 6 women, but then be nowhere near the finish.
Yeah.
And you put Roxanne in early for that NXT spot. Give her a bit more of a push before she comes
The
up.
only problem I have with that one, because I agree with you, it should, but I don't think Shayna's had enough TV time recently. She has been
No, I know. It's-
sort of pushed to the back
this,
a bit.
this is
So.
how you get her back into the singles thing. Because
But do you do that at the beginning of the Rumble, or do you do that later on?
Well, if you give her a dominant showing, 100%.
I hope they do, because she deserves it, man. She's been plugging away for ages
Because
now.
I think what they need to do is they need to give Rhea another match before WrestleMania.
I really
gotta
think
be
it.
Shayna
Chamber.
up.
It's got to be.
I really think it needs to be Shayna and Rhea at the chamber.
That's how you do it. You give her
I
a bit of
really
rumble.
think
I think it's going to
because
be
like
someone else.
their matches that they had together in NXT were absolutely fantastic. Replicate that on a main stage in Rhea's home country, mate. We'll be happy either way.
So for my surprise,
Yep.
I think we're all going to say Sasha Banks returns, right? At some point, we all say that.
Yeah, I think we all agree. So let's maybe pick someone other than Sasha Banks. 'cause I
Well,
think we
like
all
the only
agree-
other obvious pick is one that we're also all going to pick as well, which is Jade Cargill.
I didn't
Oh,
actually
yeah.
pick that one.
She'll be in the Rumble.
I've got
Yeah,
something else.
that's my pick.
Okay.
My other surprises are Liv Morgan. She returns. I think
Yep.
she's in the Rumble.
I agree with that.
And Trish Stratus.
Yeah, you literally picked the two I picked.
Yeah, okay.
Liv
that's
Morgan, Trish Stratus. Yeah, on the same card. Jade Cargill, I'm still not sure. Maybe, but I mean, it would be a good
If
spot.
not now,
because
then when?
It's a good start to get her in, and she doesn't
Right
have to
after
wrestle much, I
WrestleMania.
guess. Yeah.
Do you
That's
really
it. That's
like
what I'm
after
thinking.
teasing her so frequently
But they've
across those
stopped.
shows?
They haven't
stopped
teased her for
completely.
I
months.
know, but like, you're really gonna leave it that long?
And I guess it's kind of hard because if you've got these other returns,
Yeah,
like
like
Liv
if
Morgan,
so-
Liv
if-
Morgan's a pretty big return. I know she hasn't been gone long.
If
but
Sasha
she's
does
super
come
popular.
back, I don't know if they'll have Jade as well as
That's
that.
why I
or
think
maybe
they'll
they
keep Jade
use
away.
those surprises instead of having Legends return.
I think what I said last week on the podcast was that you have Sasha come back in one spot, Jade the next spot, they eliminate each other.
Yeah.
And that's your match.
I think the problem was that and we did talk about this a couple of times. I think Jade was supposed to wrestle Charlotte
Correct.
potentially
Yeah.
at some point, and now that Charlotte's gone, they've delayed it a bit longer
Mm.
again. So, so who? So you're Jade? Are you sticking with Jade?
Yeah, I'm sticking with
Yep.
Jade.
So do you want to start us off with who do you think is going to be the last four in the women's match?
Right, here's what I got:
Okay.
Bailey,
Yeah.
Yep.
Becky,
Yeah.
Sasha,
Yeah.
and Jade Cargill.
Oh, okay. I have a different fourth, but otherwise I'm the same.
Yeah,
Mine's the
I think
same.
that's your money.
I have Bailey, Becky, Sasha, and Nia Jax.
I've actually got a whole different four again,
Ooh.
and this is why I think the women's.
Oh,
Rumble,
actually, yeah, I did put Nia Jax.
I think this is.
I crossed out Jade
why
Cargill.
the women's
but yeah.
rumble can be
I'll stick
really
with Jade.
good because you can have multiple final fours and it would be.
It's gonna be good either
Something
way.
fantastic because I've actually got Liv Morgan,
Uh-huh.
Bailey, Bianca's still there too. Number one and number two are still there, but I've got Asuka's still there.
Okay.
Not that Asuka's gonna win it,
No, I feel like.
but I think you can feel why I would leave her there. Yeah, just in the sense of
We
I
got
think
the
it'll
story.
tie in because then obviously from our final four we're gonna pick who's gonna win. My pick is Bailey.
Bailey.
Yeah,
And for me,
It's
it
Bailey's
comes down to
time.
Bailey and Asuka as your last two.
and then that's how we tell the story of their disintegration.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Not that it's
Correct.
already
I
not
think-
being teased, but
I think the way the women's divisions are booked right now is Rhea can face Becky because she's Becky, right? Becky can just say, I want a title match, and she gets it.
yeah,
They've built up Nia. They should build up Shayna. That's your Raw side of things. The whole SmackDown side of things is Damage Control.
it's got to be
Yeah.
damage.
And
It's
the
gotta
way
be.
you get Damage Control, a big story in WrestleMania,
That.
Bailey wins the Rumble.
So you guys are on the same page with that. Bailey, did you pick Bailey as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mate.
Bailey wins the Rumble.
All right, there we go.
And instead of going for Rhea like they've been hinting at, she's going for Io.
Or
It's a
she'll
good story,
talk up
man.
Rhea for weeks and then she'll turn and she'll pick Io. Yeah.
Batista style.
Yeah.
Hold up the contracts.
The only other thing I would maybe switch out is if Sasha does turn up in the Rumble, I would say it's Sasha, Bailey, Bianca, Asuka, potentially in the final four. It depends on the order because the order will have a big play on the whole thing as well. But I'm seriously so excited for the women's Rumble this year. Like it is. It looks
It's
like
not
it's going to
obvious.
be jam packed.
Like we want Bailey to win, but it's not obvious who's going to get that rumble.
Yeah.
spot.
Not at all.
And-
And I think the men's one's the same. Both of them are in the same sort of boat. No, you think it's really obvious?
I
'Cause don't
really
know if
feel
it
like
is.
there's no other way to get CM Punk a main event other than to have
okay.
him win the Rumble, which he's never done. And then
Agree.
Because just touching on that really quickly, because you were saying Rhea needs someone at Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
I think it might be, if it's not Nia Jax, because I think that's probably the obvious one
Yeah, I
because she's
agree.
going to be popular. If not, it'll be Liv Morgan after her return.
Maybe.
As former tag team champions, partners, that would be the other option. I think Nia or Liv. They were tag team champions
Who
together.
were?
they were.
Rhea and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I
Do
know.
you forget that?
Rhea was.
Yeah.
I thought
Yes.
it was Raquel and Liv.
No.
Well,
Rhea
them
and
as
Liv
well.
were together before
Yeah.
Raquel and Liv. Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez,
No,
you don't have a good memory, do you?
not about that part of Mummy's career. No.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, so I guess on to the men's one, right?
Some fan of Mummy.
I know, right? He's like, I'm in love with Mummy. He was so in love with her, he didn't even notice Liv was there.
Yeah.
You bloody bastard. All
Nobody
right,
can see your shirt, Dan.
What?
No one can see your shirt.
Yeah, okay.
on to the men's Royal Rumble. You started us off last time. Dan, would you like to start us off this time?
Sure.
Your first two for the
My
men's Royal
first
Rumble.
entrant for the Royal Rumble was Cody Rhodes, coming in at number 1,
Oh, okay.
opposite to number 30 from last year.
Yeah, you took my idea, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
And number 2, Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's a good choice. After the match they just had, that's a good choice. Yeah.
That makes my
Cody-
choices look like shit.
Yeah, same here, man. I went for a completely different. Completely different.
Cody thinks he's done with Shinsuke. And he's
And
like,
Shinsuke,
Shinsuke,
yeah.
walks out, and then number 2, Shinsuke.
No, that's
okay.
Oh, I couldn't.
And then him eliminating Shinsuke at some point will be the end of that
That's it,
story.
yeah.
Part of the story, yeah.
Okay. Well, my one's completely different.
No, let it go.
I went for JD McDonough and R-Truth. Because I just really want to play on that whole thing of, I don't want to do this, JD. And
Yeah,
R-Truth
no.
ends up eliminating him.
I could see that happening. That'd
Yeah.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. And then like number 2 would be Dominic Mysterio because then they gang up against R-Truth and he somehow eliminates both of them at the same time. I don't know. I thought maybe a
That'd be
comedy
funny.
start
That'd be so
to a
fun.
Rumble rather
Why not?
than
Why not?
a serious one because we haven't really had that for a while. And just
Even
to,
this
just to
pick
change
makes
it up a
mine look
little
like
bit.
shit. Fuck.
What was your pick? Come on, let's hear it. I'm
I
interested.
went
to
with
hear
Lashley and Karrion Cross.
That's not bad. That's
See, like
not
this
bad.
is the thing. Like, I want this to be good. Like, I want it to be good. Like, I feel like Karrion Cross has fumbled and stumbled so much. The Final Testament, like, it needs to do something. I feel like a way to get people vested is to have them have a really good showing that first 3 minutes before the next competitor comes in. Get people interested to see how the rest of it's going to pan out. And then throughout the Rumble, you can have AOP come out, you can have Street Profits come out, and they can have like your 3-on-3 and that sort of interaction as well, which hopefully builds up some excitement for it because I don't think there's that much excitement for it yet.
I would say yes, but I don't want 8 spots of the Rumble taken up by those guys. That's too many people.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a good point. I mean, they've got
They
so many
always
people
have
to fill
like
in there.
random tag teams and shit.
Yeah, but I think there's
We need
enough
to have
other
other stories in there
Yeah.
too. We need to and that is a good story that needs starting though. So I could see. I think you could make it work. I don't know whether or not it will happen, but I think if you started with them, it wouldn't be a bad option.
Can I give you an interesting fact? I was watching the some of the Wrestle Talk videos and stuff during the week. They did a bunch of things about predicting all the people that were in Royal Rumbles.
Yeah,
Do you know someone who was never in a Royal Rumble match?
it's going to be someone really prominent, right?
Yeah, so they were naming everybody. So it was like
Yeah.
Rock, Stone Cold, blah, blah, blah. They went Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy,
Yep.
Edge, Christian,
Yep.
Bubba, Devon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Devon's never been in a
has
Rumble.
never been
Yeah.
in a Royal
Oh, wow.
Rumble match.
Yeah, Devon. I remember that came up actually. He's never been in a Royal Rumble match. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
No, it was Razor Ramon.
Really? Scott
Yeah.
Hall?
Interesting. Yep. Never.
Oh. Well, I guess he did leave and then
But
when
he then came back.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, I don't think you're going to get both AOP, both Street Profits.
No,
That's
you
it.
wouldn't.
Like,
You
No,
wouldn't.
that's
That's true.
fair.
You might get Karrion and Lashley though,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
get
the
that.
leaders of it.
Get
Yeah.
some kickstart to that feud.
But yeah, I think there's too many other stories that they're going to have to tell through the Rumble to have 8 people do one
But I
story.
think what you might have is you might have them fighting while not in the Rumble.
Correct.
Because remember, it's no disqualification, so there's nothing stopping them from coming out and Lashley gets eliminated and then AOP start beating up on him.
And
You know what I
Street
mean?
Profits
From the
running out
side.
and-
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think something like that might happen. But that's actually really not a bad start, just to give it a bit of a highlight for that feud and get
Yeah.
the final testament. I keep thinking last testament, but it's final testament. A little bit of a highlight. Cool. Okay, so what about in terms of special appearance? What do you got, Reece, for the men's?
I didn't actually write anything down, but
Yep.
off the top of my head, I'm going to go with Sean Spears returning at
Oh,
number 10.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I've actually got a couple.
Who is that? Oh, it is Dana Brooke. Okay.
Whoa.
She looks completely different.
She lost some weight, dude.
And got tall.
Holy hell.
Those
Well, I mean,
were
did
some
you see
pretty
those
big heels,
shoes?
though.
Yeah.
Those were
It
some
is
pretty
Dana
big
Brooke.
heels. So, yeah,
Congratulations to
breaking
whoever
news,
guessed that.
everyone.
Dana
Dana
Brooke.
Brooke in TNA.
Oh, good
Now
on her.
known as Ash by Elegance.
Mate, she's obviously been, oh man, she looks different. Really looks different. I wouldn't have, if you hadn't have said it, I wouldn't have picked that was her.
Nah, I wouldn't have picked that.
Wow, there you go. Dana Brooke, TNA.
There we go.
So special appearances, it's really hard because I think there's actually going to be quite a few for the men's one. Yeah, I think so.
I could
Because
pick
I think
two.
I mean, like, I
Okay.
feel like
Ty Dillinger, I think, is a given.
it's a good pick.
Andrade,
Yep.
I think, will be
Yeah,
back.
actually, I forgot about him. Yeah, I
It's
definitely
pretty
think
much
he'll
been
show up.
confirmed online that X-Pac is
said
entering.
no.
Yeah, of course he would because it's already been
I
leaked.
don't think
and they
anybody
want him to know.
wants that, dude.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Literally
I also
the
think
footnote of DX that
I
nobody
also
cares
think
about.
I kind of want this to happen, but also don't want it to happen because obviously he's not going to win. But Stone Cold Steve Austin would be a cool one to have as well.
The Rock. as well.
Nah, The Rock will be
Nah,
at
The
the
Rock,
Rumble. He wouldn't
yeah.
be in the Rumble.
No, I think I agree with you. Ty Dillinger's a given. I think Andrade is the other one.
Yeah.
I had Andrade.
Yeah.
The other one I'll put in is Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's been
that's a
out. Big
really
return.
good one.
Big return.
Yeah. I also kind of want
Yeah.
to put Big E, but I just don't know if he's cleared.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd love
Yeah,
to
I
see
don't know
Big E
either,
come
dude.
back.
But because there was talk that Kofi, I don't know, with what's happened in the storylines, that he might not end up being in the Rumble. But that would be really sad because he'll tie Kane
For most
for
entrances, yeah.
appearances. So then
Yeah.
next year, hopefully he
Why would
breaks the
Kofi
record.
not be?
I don't know. There was just a little bit of chatter online where they reckon the storyline was going along the lines of he's going to be injured and not in, and then Big E would replace him instead, and that's how they do a return for Big E. Is Kofi gets like beaten up, doesn't enter the Rumble, but Big E enters instead. But I don't think they'll do it because he's too close to that. He'll equal
Yeah.
Kane's record. And like, what's a Royal Rumble without a
Without a
Kofi,
Kofi spot.
spot? So,
except
I
when he
don't think
botches
that'll
it.
happen. Yeah, well, I mean, dude, when you do it every year for what is it, 14 years?
Final
Okay,
four.
Final four. Dan, do you want to start us off?
All right. So Cody
Yep.
stays there from number 1.
Uh-huh.
Goes the marathon. CM Punk. Mm-hmm. Drew McIntyre.
Oh, you've got my 3 so far. Who's your-
Carmelo Hayes.
Okay,
Really?
you've got 3 of my 4.
I think that they're going to try and push Melo as like that NXT type thing.
Yeah.
I was going to toss between sort of him and Bron Breakker, but the way they portrayed Melo on SmackDown and the fact that he's going to be in the Rumble, I reckon they're going to give him a spotlight.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's getting the call up soon
Yeah, for sure.
for sure. You
Wait,
want me to
what-
go?
oh no, well,
No, that's
'cause
all right. Oh,
look, I agree on Cody,
Yep, I
Punk,
got that.
and Drew, but
Yep.
then I've got
I-
a huge list of ones I think could fit that.
Well,
forward,
I've got
depending on
mine,
what they wanna
so
do. Do you want to do
I'll go.
yours?
So
Yeah,
I've
okay.
got CM Punk.
Yep.
I've got Cody. I've got Drew. I've also got Gunther there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I feel like it's going to be a stellar final.
Yeah. Well,
because
I'm
literally, like any of them could win, and you'd be happy with that.
Yeah, true. But I think in terms of it depends what storyline is going there. And I think with Cody there, I think Solo's still an option for them. I know he's probably not any of our first pick, but I'm just thinking in terms of what WWE would think. I think Solo's an option. I think Jay's an option. Jay Uso is an option as well.
So
This
that's
is the thing.
of
there's
the
so-
bloodline coming into the Rumble to stop Cody from winning.
Solo is why I thought that.
He's a fucking genius.
That's a good idea.
That's but I'm going to be upset if that doesn't happen.
Dude, there are so many stories. Like we all pretty much agree. I think. Let's say who's going to win the Rumble?
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
So we all pretty much agree on that, right? But in terms of how does he win and what's the story to get there, I think is no one really knows where that's going to go, and that's what keeps it really interesting. Is who's going to eliminate Drew McIntyre? Who's he going to want to Claymore and snap their neck? What's going to happen with Bloodline? Are Jimmy and Jay going to face off in the Rumble? Because I'm really hoping they do. And one's going to probably eliminate the other at some point to get a feud going into Mania.
Try and play it in with what we were for the Chamber. I reckon CM Punk, Cody, and Drew for the final 3.
Yep.
And then Drew gets Cody out. Punk gets Drew out. And that'll tell the story for Chamber.
But does
So-
Drew get Cody out because he's being distracted by, say, Solo or Jimmy or someone else? And he gets eliminated because of that. Something along those lines. Look, it's like
2 weeks of the Rumble, man. It's going to be great.
And so I've said this before on the podcast. Royal Rumble is my I love it.
so much
Royal Rumble is my favorite.
It's so much fun.
I love it. It's like I can't get a better pay per view than Royal Rumble for me. That's the best. So that's our predictions for the Royal Rumble coming up. Let us know what your predictions are. Who you think's going to win?
Yeah.
But the men's and the women's. And make sure if you haven't got your tickets, get your ticket for Elimination Chamber. Now CM Punk announced. I think those tickets will probably start flying out the door a bit quickly. So.
Yeah, probably.
And a lot of what was left was really expensive stuff down on the down in the hard camera area. So
mate, if you got money, spend it.
yeah, if you've got money, just send it their way. Or give us a sponsorship. Now that's it. That was news and rumors and our Rumble predictions. Thanks so much for joining us here on Wrestling Guard around the relevancy. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Check out Instagram, X, Spotify, and on YouTube. I'm assuming you're watching this on it. You've been listening to Thank you, Ready, Reece. See you next time down on that podcast. Scissor me, Teddy!